Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by X-Cancer. Check them out at xcancer.com. And first and foremost, off the top, I just want to address the elephant in the room. All right, yes, Bug Eaters is about the worst nickname I've ever heard of in my entire life. Now, I've had this shirt in my closet a year, maybe 2 years, and I see it, and I'm like, I just don't know when I'm ever going to wear that thing. So I decided just to put the freaking thing on today. There, the elephant's been addressed. All right. Today I want to talk about something I've talked about. I alluded to it in my gut reaction, even Carriker Live last night, but it's worth doing its own show specifically on this topic, and that is Logan Smothers. Now, if Casey Thompson can play versus Michigan this Saturday, which we will learn more tomorrow at the press conference from Mickey Joseph, probably. We may just hear his day-to-day, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a more definitive answer. But if he can play Casey Thompson versus Michigan on Saturday, he's our starter. But if not, Logan Smothers needs to be our starting quarterback. Smash that like button if you want to hashtag free Logan and you want Logan Smothers to be our starting quarterback on Saturday if Casey Thompson is unable to make the start. Even if Casey Thompson can start. I've been on Logan Smothers' bandwagon for a long time. I really have. Okay, even if Casey can start, he's getting beat up. He can run. He has several rushing touchdowns this year, but you probably don't want to put him in any more risk than you have to because he's getting beat up because of lack of protection from the offensive line. So I would advocate, let's use a weapon, a dynamic, explosive athlete. Okay, put him on the field. Let's use him when we haven't used him much at all this year. And that's Logan Smothers, even if Casey can start in certain packages. Goal line, short yardage, things, a red zone. Like, let's utilize this guy. It doesn't have to be a fancy, smancy package for the offense. It doesn't have to be complicated. But whatever the offense is doing, it'll take twice as much time for the defense to prepare for in practice. So it's making their life that much harder on defense. And you only have a certain allotted amount of time that you can spend with your football players every week. Okay, so smash that like button. You want Logan Smothers to start if Casey can't start. And if Casey can't start, if you want Logan to have a package. I've been advocating for this all year. All right, now, I would even make the statement that had Logan started versus Minnesota, I believe we win that game. Okay, now, to be very clear, this is not an indictment on Chubba Purdy. This is a kid with a bright future, big arm, talented, highly recruited for a reason. He can run very well as well when he takes off. I've never met him. What I see of him and when I talk to people about him who do know him, they have nothing but positive things to say. He's a very good, nice young man, works hard, got a bright future. Okay, again, nothing but love for Chubba Purdy. He's a young man right now who seems a little bit overwhelmed. Everything's moving really fast for him. Mickey Joseph has even admitted that he's very excitable and they have to try to calm him down. Well, it's probably because he's overwhelmed. And it's probably because he's not ready just yet. And that's okay. There may very well come a day in this football program's future where he's our starting quarterback and he's making big plays for us. But he's just not there yet. He's just not ready yet, and that's okay. I'm rooting for him, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for that young man. I got nothing but love for him. But that being said, as Logan started on Saturday, I do believe that we beat Minnesota, and I do believe he is our second best quarterback on this roster right now. Now, why didn't he start? I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? To me, I think it comes down to Mark Whipple has an offense, he has a scheme, and something he likes to run. And it does not fit Logan Smothers' strengths as a quarterback as well as it fits Chubba Purdy's strengths, and that's why Chubba got the start. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. That means we started our third best quarterback last Saturday. And again, nothing but love for Chubba Purdy. He'll get there one day, and I can't wait to see what he does when he gets there and he matures and develops and improves. I can't wait to see that. But to me, Logan Smothers is our second best quarterback. Now, it has been said that maybe Chubba practices a little bit better, and he looks a little bit better in practice than Logan Smothers does. And I've actually heard of this before. Sometimes, and practice matters. Practice frickin' matters. So you got to take that into account. So if that's the case, okay, and you start Chubba, maybe after our 98th consecutive 3-and-out, it was a record, ladies and gentlemen, maybe then you give Logan an opportunity. Maybe you give him an opportunity sooner. You know, maybe that impacts the outcome of the game for me. It has been mentioned that, Chubba's very excitable. Maybe he's more passionate than Logan. Logan's a little bit more low-key, a little bit more quiet. I wouldn't confuse excitable with passion. Now, I have no doubt that Chubba's passionate. But what I'm saying, when it comes to Logan, I see a guy who has been loyal to this Husker football program since day one. Again, I've mentioned this before elsewhere. I'm going to mention it here. He was the first recruit to commit in his entire recruiting class. He was committed for over a year before he signed. He never once wavered. Okay, and think about this past year. They bring They bring in a new offensive coordinator, a new scheme, a scheme that doesn't really fit what he does that well. Then they bring in Casey Thompson. Boom, immediately he's put in front of a guy who started our last game of the season last year in Mr. Smothers. Boom, Chuba Purdy comes in. He's number 2. He could have easily left. He's never wavered. He's never mentioned anything. He just kind of goes about his business. And when he's in games, seems to do pretty good. Obviously, he can do better. He's a young guy himself. But for me, he has shown his passion through his loyalty. Okay? Excitement, loyalty, to me those things can all equal passion. Okay? Don't confuse those things with a player's personality. All right, now, here's my thoughts. All right? You can't start players in a game, all right, that are just simply the best fit for a coach's scheme. We have to start the best players. Then it's the coach's job to game plan and mold the scheme once you have the best players on the field, especially with what we got going on this year. Okay, that's on Mark Whipple. That's squarely on his shoulders. Comment below and let me know if you agree with me. Just simply say yes or no. I will say this is also on Mickey Joseph's shoulders as the head coach to make sure Mark Whipple is doing this. And if he's not, Mickey needs to make him do it, or he needs to step in and do it for him. That's squarely on Mickey's shoulders, a guy that I'm obviously been rooting for a long time. Comment below and simply say yes or no, or you can always elaborate as much as you'd like if you agree or disagree with me. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, I got another question for you. Would you like Nebraska to run more option? Because this obviously plays more to what Smothers does, but I'm just thinking more along the lines of the future. Run more option. It can be the read option. You know, what Frost was supposed to run when he came here and never really did. That much of anyways. It can be the triple option. It can be spread. It can be, we can bring the fullback back. Maybe if it's just one, they also help on special teams. I don't know if you know that. I will give Frost credit. He did come up with a great plan. The one thing I thought he did really well was come up with a great plan for the Iowa game last year for Logan Smothers, and Logan played well. That game was in hand. Block punt. Sorry I brought it up. My apologies. I digress. All right, you get my point. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Until next time, go big, red, and always remember, the Bugs. This show is brought to you by X-Cancer. Join the fight at xcancerstore.com and support your loved ones, your neighbors, and cancer fighters all over the world and help them gain access to revolutionary treatments. xcancerstore.com has a wide variety of t-shirts and merchandise supporting a wide variety of cancer battles so you can show off the colors that matter. Proceeds from each purchase not only help those at home, but also cancer fighters in Tanzania, Africa. Check them out at xcancerstore.com.